actually saw a movie that I really enjoyed today, and the movie was Hustlers. This movie was great from the beginning all the way to the end. I mean, I knew from the moment I started watching it that I was going to be involved in this amazing story, and it didn't let me down at all. From the beginning all the way up to the end, it just had you on the edge of your seat wondering how this story was going to keep going, how it was going to progress. And it really tells the story of Dorothy, played by Constance Wu, and Ramona, Jennifer Lopez, and their stripping career during the economic crisis of 2008, a little bit before and after. And drastic times call for drastic measures. I think that would be the main storyline of this movie, because it really showcased what people do when they're pushed to the edge of their kind of threshold and searching for resources to achieve a goal, which was money. I think that they did a good job of showing kind of the addictive quality of money, and I've heard that a lot from strippers, that the money just gets so addictive and that they just kind of get out of control and do crazy things. And it was written by a woman, produced by a bunch of different people. One of them was Jennifer Lopez too, but it was also directed by a woman, and every single word that exited these actresses' mouths was just beautiful. It was so, the truth of every sentence resonated with me as a woman just so epically that it just made so much difference to see the film written from a woman's perspective, a story about women, and it was just, everything was so truthful, and I was so happy with the way everything was conveyed. And just, I mean, do I think stripping is a good career? I don't know. I haven't tried it, so I don't know. I can only really go off of what people have said. I really can't comment, and I think that's really a little bit of a key thing to take away from this is I don't really know. I've never done it. We don't really, I mean, I think the stigma around stripping is still prevalent and pervasive, and I think that it shouldn't be, really. And so there was one thing at the end of the movie, and I don't want to spoil what she says, but she says this like glorious tidbit of information and just kind of analysis on the American culture at the end, and it just was like, oh, so wonderful. So there wasn't, and I think in comparison to all the movies I've been seeing up until now, I mean, Judy was kind of not good. Joker was worse, and then the Hustlers just like made me regain faith in what cinema could be, because the music was, I mean, I felt like the music was, they pulled from music that I had never heard before, which was great, because I want to go to a movie and hear something that is so out there that really rings true to whatever I'm experiencing. But then they also pulled from music that I had heard before. But it was just like, I was like, yes! And this one song, this song in the movie, I'll talk about it once we get to the spoilers, but it was just so exciting and thrilling to hear songs that were just new and fresh. And it wasn't like, okay, yeah, that montage. Okay, yeah, they're doing that. All right, I got it. Oh, we've seen that. Yeah, all right, predictable. No, it was all very new, and then it just was a very fresh, real, and also just like the way it was edited was great too. There was no time. I felt like it moved along very quickly. It moved along. There was only one spot in the movie where I felt like it could have been quicker, but I mean, even that was, I mean, not even, it worked. It worked. So that was just, everything moved along at a very quick pace, in a very enjoyable speed, kept you engaged. And it was, and it's not safe for workers. Don't take your kids. There was a bunch of, when I went to go see the movie, there were a bunch of kids in the back row of the theater, and they were talking through the trailers, they were talking through the beginning of the movie, and then right in the first couple seconds of the movie, Mama Bear walked them all out and they all left. So I'm sure they were there for JLo because I heard a little bit of Spanish, but of course that overprotective and kind of censoring quality of Latina mothers just walk them straight out of the theater. I remember walking out of Hocus Pocus when I was in Girl Scouts because my mom thought it was too heavy in witchcraft, and so I wasn't able to see that movie in the theaters when it came out. I was ushered out like those other girls, so that was pretty funny. It also reminded me of my own childhood. It was, but yeah, I think it was, and the makeup was another thing. The makeup was, I feel like it was fun to see how they, I mean, JLo she used the same makeup artist that she always uses, which is Scott Barnes, and I don't think he really did anything different for her makeup, really. It was always that, it's that same kind of like tan goddess, overdrawn lip type of thing. I mean, it's a little different, I think, than what she normally wears, of course, and she had a little like ring, in her lip, which added to the character. But I mean, let's talk about JLo's acting, because she was phenomenal. She played that character. I mean, she's so iconic as not as an actress. I'd say more as like this mogul, like kind of triple threat, dance, sing, act. She can't really sing, and we can argue she can't really act. But this film really showcased her acting skills. I mean, she played this badass bitch that just kind of didn't take shit from anyone and wanted to essentially screw the system and take advantage of and make money. She had a goal and she went after her goal, and I think JLo as a person can relate to that and let me just make sure I'm still on. Okay, good, because last time it stopped in the middle. JLo, and I think that's why she did such a good job in this role, is because JLo talks about work, and how she's dedicated. She works harder than everybody else in the room. And let's talk about Ramona. I think there's a big kind of like Venn diagram overlap in their characters, in that Ramona was a hardworking, money-thirsty woman, and JLo, I kind of feel like she's the same way. And so, and she just had these amazing, like, you could see, the dead look of, like, a lot of times these strippers will have, like, these hollow, like if this is a job, this is a transaction, we are not connecting emotionally, this is strictly business. And JLo, I mean, she had that real, just, like, glazed over, like, I've got one thing on my mind, and that's to see how much money I can get out of you. And she did it amazingly. Tremendously phenomenal. I was so pleased with her performance. I hope she gets an Oscar. I really do. I hope she gets nominated. I will be so glad if she gets nominated for an Oscar. I hope she wins. I really think that this movie is Oscar worthy. I really do. And it was just, when you give an actress a good script, half the job is done for you. And all you have to do is bring work and bring your interpretation of everything. And JLo had the good script. She had the good character built in, and I mean, I think that they went into a lot of the story was mainly about Dorothy, or Constance Wu's character, and her acting is like, she's still good, but no, she's good. She's good. She was good. Just okay. I don't know. I don't know if there's another Asian actress out there. It was nice to see all the diversity too. Just to see. And when I say I wonder if there was another Asian actresses, they're so underrepresented in cinema, like across the board. Which is, I'm happy to see that changing. Half the trailers, 90% of the trailers that were shown before the movie were all movies for, African American or people of color, black, whatever, like, their stories are now being told, which is so exciting, because we have been seeing the same story over and over. Like, let's hear about Harriet Tubman. Yeah, Tubman. Oh gosh. See, that's how bad it is. Like, Harriet Tubman. I hope I'm saying it right. Like, I don't even know how to, like, yeah, okay. So, anyway, that was a trailer that I saw in the beginning of the movie. And then also, this other, like, horror movie that was kind of like Bonnie and Clyde-esque, which I'm not sure. I really kind of, I don't know how I feel about that one. But, so anyway, back to the movie. It was great. So that was my take on it. I loved the movie from the beginning to the end. It was well done. Music, makeup, cinematography, and the way that these montages were done, the way the music was playing behind them, the way that they made you laugh with the way the film, the way everything was cut. It was so enjoyable. It was just a blast. It was so much fun. I'm gonna go see it again. I'm gonna take all my friends. I'm gonna go by myself. I'm gonna see it again. That movie was awesome. And J-Lo and in the beginning, I mean, it just, oof. Went in with a bang, came out with a bang. It was great. And it makes me want to like install a stripper pole right here and start dancing. Super fun, super fun. Okay, so J-Lo looks phenomenal. J-Lo looks amazing. She's 50. She's 50. She looks better, like her body is like ripped. Better than, I mean, I got some work to do, and I'm just going to give myself till I'm 50 to reach it. I'll just start tonight and do some cardio, and then, you know, 27 years from now, if I get anywhere close to where J-Lo is, I'll be happy. Okay, so, spoilers. Let's spoil the pot. Okay. Where shall I start? Okay, the ending. I think that, you know, okay. Let's start at the ending. What she says at the end of the movie when she says, okay, if you haven't seen it, stop right now. Warning, spoilers. Okay, let's do it. If you saw it, let's get into the juicy parts. At the end of the movie, she says, it's not just this state, it's this country. You're a dancer, and you're either a, oh my gosh, she says you're a dancer and someone else is throwing the money at you. It's all a strip club. It's all a strip club. It's all a strip club. You're the dancer and someone else is throwing you the money. Oh my God, that hit home like no other, like a freaking baseball bat to the face. It's true. It's true. She's like, the whole country's a strip club. The whole, not even this city. The whole country's a strip club. And it was like, yeah, that's true. Someone's doing the dance and someone's throwing the money. And it's like, yeah, that is true. We're all working. We're all a slave. We're all a slave to money. Someone else is throwing the money and we're doing the dance. And I thought that was just like the best thing, the best phrase of the whole movie. It was great. And so, yeah, I think it was also nice to see Lizzo in the movie. She was cool. She had just a very small part in the movie. Cardi B was in the movie. I mean, Cardi B was, you know, she was, I feel like with a character like Cardi, like, she was funny, you know, but I feel like they could have put her in the movie more, but she was only there for like a brief second. But J-Lo, I mean, the first dance that she did, and everyone's throwing the money, and she's doing her J-Lo dance, and it was just kind of amazing. And the floor is like littered with bills, just littered with bills. Was very, very just exciting and thrilling, and the way that they shot that whole thing was just amazing. It made it seem so glamorous, and then after the contrast between that and then the contrast of showing after the economic crisis was it was shocking. It was shocking to see how bad the economy had gotten, how bad the business was for them, and to see what drastic change, like the repercussions of that, what had happened, and it was great to see that. But I think some of the funniest parts of the movie for me was probably like them trying to it's so bad that them in their own, like their kitchen, trying out the ketamine and trying out the MDMA, and trying to like create their own concoction. The next thing you know, they're like on the floor, like passed out. So that was a pretty funny scene. The whole the girl that kept vomiting, I thought that was pretty funny. Maybe a little, it was funny, maybe a little overdone, but it was still like funny. Okay, this is the other thing that I was like, there's some full frontal nudity from a man, which is fantastic, because I feel like we don't get enough of that in movies, and to see, it's just nice to, I don't know, like, let's even up the playing field. I feel like there's so much more full frontal female nudity than like male nudity, just like hands down. I think I can like count the amount of movies I've seen where I've seen a dick, and like this movie, you know, it was very appropriate. So it was nice to see, like, it was nice to them for them to be truthful. Yeah. So anyway, the whole scenario of him being naked in the part where he like falls off the roof and just face plants into the concrete. It's pretty shocking. But like, what else can it was fun to see Julia Stiles back on screen, and I feel like she played the quintessential like basic bitch, and you know, with scarf wrapped around your Longchamp bag, and yeah, so she played a really good, you know, kind of what she's cut out to do, I feel like. And yeah, it was just, I mean, I don't know what else to talk about in the movie. Okay. So then there was this one song when all the guys were getting taken advantage of that was in the background about, and it was like, all I kept hearing was next, 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 and and it was about this guy going and losing his virginity in a at a horror play, like at a essentially like a whorehouse in some, I don't know, some other country, and he was and so to hear that story played out while these men are being like taken advantage of from the strippers, or you know, just was I'd never heard that song, and it was a pretty like crazy interesting song. So yeah, the clothing was great. The whole outfits that they got to wear were fun, and the makeup. I saw a little bit of like MAC in the first scene. She's putting on a gloss and it's MAC, so that was nice to see. Yeah, it was just, I mean, it was great. I really liked it. And J-Lo, I wish I would have seen more of her. She said that she trained for like 3 months to be a stripper and to work the pole, and there were only like, I feel like it was like it was very minimal. Like there wasn't a lot of, they didn't showcase a lot of like pole dancing. Like this wasn't a story about a stripper's life. It was a story about Constance Wu, Dorothy, and Ramona. It was mainly like how their friendship, their bond as women, and how they, you know, they were tied together, but also very much a broken friendship. So I thought it was just nice to hear that story, like that storyline between a man, not so much about men, but more about women, like the friendship, and so that was really refreshing. And the lack of true, I mean, one of them at the end, you know, I felt really bad for J-Lo, and I think her character just flips out when Constance takes the plea deal, you know, and it was like, yeah, I think she just played Ramona so well. She just really got that kind of dead look down, and you know, did the dance, and all of her. I feel like this is like the role of her. Like she's been in so many cheesy movies that I've seen where her acting has been awful, but her background as a dancer has just, it helped the whole movie. It just helped everything kind of come together, and so it was. I hope she gets an Oscar for it. I mean, it would be crazy for a movie about strippers taking advantage of men, you know, to get an Oscar, but I hope it does. Yeah, what else do I want to say? That was it. I really enjoyed it. So I'm happy. I'm probably going to go see Jexy tomorrow. And, there's one thing I want to say. And it's just because, like, they keep bringing up this, I think the theme of this year, or the theme in the lexicon of the United States, is mental illness. Like, it was in the Joker movie, and now it's in this movie. They're like, motherhood is a mental illness. And I'm like, oh my God, can we please not even put those I mean, just like, I don't want to put those two together, like motherhood is a mental illness. I don't know what kind of message that sends. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, can you use any other phrase? It just like, please, like, I just didn't know why they would, I have issue with that whole thing. So, I mean, yeah, but otherwise it was fine. Otherwise it was good. The men, in the way that, I mean, it was nice to see a female-centric movie, just all about, like, just about women, you know, and so, yeah, it was great. All right, nice chatting. See you later.